Bruce Rouse here to talk a little bit about energy auditing and energy management. I'm just going to bring my notes up. So, firstly, let me just kind of define the two. So, I view energy management as the act of actively managing energy use um, in a facility or in a group of facilities within a whole company. It's on an ongoing basis, and the intent is to minimize energy usage, but in a way that doesn't compromise business operations. Energy auditing, on the other hand, it's the identification and quantification of energy savings opportunities, the costs and the benefits at a point in time. So an energy audit is something that you do and then you stop doing, whereas energy management is something that you do all the time. So another way of distinguishing the two is to say that an energy auditor will have a focus on identifying projects that can be implemented to reduce energy usage. So it's got a project focus. Whereas energy management can involve projects, but it also ensures that the business has processes in place that help minimize energy usage. For example, through appropriate procurement policies. So energy auditors may have more specific technical expertise. So an energy auditor, for example, could have a lot of technical expertise around HVAC systems, heating, ventilation, air conditioning systems. Um, Energy managers may have some expertise, but they may play more of a coordination role. While they may have the technical expertise, but they're also involved kind of more in a management role, coordination role, um, training even, to get the whole organization moving forward effectively with energy management. So um, one of the things that um, a company that has an energy manager in place should have, if that role is to be effective, is they should have an organizational commitment to reducing their energy use. So another feature is that if a business is employing an energy manager, typically it's going to be a larger business because the energy manager needs to basically pay their salary through the energy efficiency benefits that arise. So typically you'd expect, an energy manager or the energy cost for an organization with an energy manager, the energy cost would need to be roughly about 30 times the salary of the energy manager to make that role kind of break even. And if it's more than 30 times, well, then that role will probably going to make money for the business. So I want to talk a bit about ISO 50001, which is an energy management system standard. So ISO 50001 was first published in 2011. It was updated in 2018. And this is a management system standard focused on energy. So it's like we have a ISO 9001, which is a management system focused on quality. We have 14001, which is a management system focused on environment. So there's a lot of different ISO management systems. But all of these management systems, whether environment, safety, uh, internet, IT security, whatever management system it is, energy, it presumes that there's an organizational commitment. And the classic diagram in the latest version of ISO 50001 has leadership as a diagram with all these activities, and leadership is at the heart of it, or this management commitment. So when that management commitment exists, it means that the organization is serious about managing its energy use in a way that minimizes its energy usage and increasingly minimizes its carbon footprint. And 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 because there's an ongoing commitment, and you typically follow a process, so um, it's plan, do, check, act is kind of the typical way of phrasing this, um, and it's where the top management has a plan to manage its energy use effectively. Um, then it will identify what it needs to do to be reducing its energy use, maybe undertaking energy audits, but also identify process opportunities such as the purchasing policy, operator training, things like that. Then they do the activities, then they check. They might use measurement and verification to check that the savings have been achieved. They might monitor the results, see if it's achieved what it's done. Then the act is another management review to say, hey, well, we did one cycle. How did that work? And let's just keep repeat and continual improvement. So it has this continual improvement process focus. And there's a good example of this from the United States ISO 50001 Superior Energy Performance Program, or SEP. So I'm just going to share on the screen a PDF on this, and it's really interesting because it shows that the um, savings from an ongoing approach to energy management can be quite significant. So this is looking at the manufacturing sector, this particular article, and I'm just going to skip down. If you just do a search for SEP energy management results, you'll probably find the article. So these are the results here. So this is looking across 12 years. Yeah. And this is kind of the year-on-year savings. So this is the energy performance improvement. Let's call it energy performance improvement compared with the previous year. So we can see that consistently the kind of average energy performance improvement. I think that this would be, I don't know what percentile that is. It could be 50 percentile. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, it's showing pretty consistently businesses, even after 12 years, are still getting on average a 3% saving, perhaps a little better year-on-year improvement in their energy performance. So energy performance is something that the organization defines for itself. But for example, if you're in a manufacturing facility, it could be energy use per car, if you say you're an automotive manufacturer, per car produced, or per kilogram if you're making some sort of product. So that's pretty impressive that you can keep on getting this sort of continual improvement. And this is kind of what you'd expect from an energy management process based on this Plan, Do, Check, Act, where you're trying to get continual improvement. So that's kind of a bit of a summary there of what is involved with energy management. So, um, great results. Energy auditing, however, we can't discount energy auditing because energy auditing can actually play quite a big role in getting these sorts of results. So typically an energy auditor should, in my opinion, be a technical expert in the various technologies that a facility uses, um, energy using technologies, or be able to tap into experts who are, and is able to advise on how to both implement capital works projects, which would um, possibly just be replacing existing equipment, or to get even larger savings, looking at process redesign in order to achieve the same outcome, but in a different way. And a good energy auditor um, who works well with the process engineers and that on site can often come to this understanding, and I guess uses a deep knowledge of physics and thermodynamics to come up with some perhaps innovative solutions that can get very large savings. Um, so as I said, energy auditing, although it has this more project one-off focus, um, fits well into an energy management, which is more of an ongoing process and improvement plus continual, project implementation. Um, so, um, I'm a big fan of both energy auditing and energy management. Um, an energy audit done without an energy management context, however, is quite dangerous in that it may not give the results that are intended. So, personally, I've done a lot of energy audits, and it's very frustrating when the customer who's paid for the energy audit doesn't go ahead and implement any of the savings recommendations. And the key reason for that is that, in actual fact, that the organization or the company actually isn't really serious about energy management. Maybe they got a government grant to fund all or part of the cost of the audit. Maybe just thought it was a good idea without really thinking through the implications, because an energy audit doesn't save money. It tells you to spend money in order to save money, and it gives you a list of projects and activities you can do. So for me, an energy management system is the primary thing that if you're an energy advisor, you would want your clients, you'd want to ensure that they had an energy management system in place, or it may not be a formal system, but it needs to have at its heart a strong leadership commitment to investing to reduce energy use in the facility in the longer term, whether those investments be capital projects that are typically informed by an energy audit or identified by an energy audit, or are more the process-driven things like the purchasing policy, um, training of staff, etc., which can also give very good savings. But they need to be resourced. People need to be trained. There needs to be money and time put into that. So that's just a quick summary. I don't want to go on too long around energy management versus auditing. So I'm happy to take any questions now about these two, energy management, energy auditing.